I told you we'd be back. I made you that reassurance that we were going to come back on air within 30 seconds to a minute. Now, I can't guarantee you the timing there, but I can assure you that we are back and ready to jump back into this CyberZen Renegades game. The one kicking off here is StarSeries Season 6. And to do that, of course, will be Halvor and Sean. And we're going to be trying to loop this one all together so that you can take all your narratives and forge these two teams into one storybook. Take it away, Halvor.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Don't take it into. Whoa. What? I'm just saying. Like, you guys.
You're crossing streams. All right.
I'm leaving. Guys.
That's safe. Like that's allowed.
But in all reality, we do have CyberZen and Renegades here kicking us off, and we do already heavily favor the Renegades. We actually just seen Kassad there as a bit of news to me. So perhaps what can he bring to the equation here for Renegades?
I think first off, like as you mentioned, the fact that they have Azza doing the in-game leading, which is a completely unknown role for him. I highly doubt Azza did it when Chad was in the team. We know that Nifty was the one in-game leading for them, after the new look Renegades came about. So I think Kassad is just going to be someone that Azza can rely on more heavily, can actually come to him for advice. That sage man in the back, making sure that he has everything under control. Because it's, you know that better than anyone. Playing, under high pressure as an in-game leader, when you lose track and we actually run out of IDs, you're so lost. You have no idea what's going on. If you're not getting good enough feedback from your teammates, having a coach who's got pen and paper, notes all already set to go, that's just a world of difference.
Here's the world of the difference, Sean. These are best of ones in the Swiss stage, and of course, to do that, we've got to start narrowing down our maps in the veto. Sean Gares, walk us through the entire veto process, please.
Well, Trace, this is actually going to be a really difficult one for me to judge because both these teams fairly new as far as their lineups go. Renegades, like we said, they're probably both these teams want to play the even ground maps like Mirage, Inferno. Maybe Dust 2. Dust 2 hasn't played a lot throughout the scene, but Renegades has shown that they enjoy playing Dust 2, even with this new lineup. And you can see those are the 3 maps that have been left in now in the last 3, I mean. Mirage gets eliminated, so
highly doubt we're going to see Overpass.
Highly doubt we're going to see Overpass. It's likely going to come down to Inferno or Dust 2.
Yeah, there goes Overpass. And, CyberZen is in a pretty cool situation for them. They get to choose between Dust 2 and Inferno. If I'm them, I'm going Inferno 24/7.
You're going to have to. And, one factor of this we didn't really talk to, yes, it's going to be Inferno, is the amount of exposure that one team is going to have to top-level play versus the other. When it's CyberZen, who are you playing on a regular basis that is giving you the same amount of caliber of play, whereas Renegades are scrimming this non-stop?
Yeah, you got CyberZen getting the benefit of playing versus Tyloo with stand-ins. That's the highest level of competition they run into. I guess you could make a case for Vici Gaming with their new lineup being decently proficient in terms of actually having a practice partner, but yeah, it comes nowhere close to the kind of environment that Renegades has, either if it's through tournaments or just practicing at home in NA.
I'm interested to see if CyberZen plays Inferno a lot like Tyloo does. Tyloo at the major was playing very aggressive, and their players were able to get multi-kills almost seemingly with ease on their CT side. So if they play like that, that could throw Renegades off a lot, because the way Tyloo was playing, they were swarming people at CTs as if they were, trying to enter bomb sites. It was kind of crazy, actually, to watch them play Inferno.
They got the two sides confused.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what happened.
Honestly, what it looked like.
But the question is, right, obviously, like, is the individual level of the CyberZen players up to snuff with the Tyloo guys, right? Because, like, somebody or DD and Bented, obviously, they can make that kind of magic work for them, even though there's not the coordination that you'd like to see necessarily coming out of them. I'm not sure that's going to be the case for CyberZen if they have, just that firepower to make that work.
Some firepower coming down range now from the partners of StarSeries, Starladder. In Loot Bet, let's see what the odds are. And, well, this one should be pretty one-sided, but you know what? You can never really tell with these sort of things, Sean.
No, you cannot, but they will provide us with the coefficients, Trace. not for the quadratic equation or anything like that. No,
yes,
this
indeed.
is for betting purposes, actually.
Yes.
Trace, who would you put your money on?
I mean, would
if
anyone you
Valve
feel?
wouldn't ban you.
Yeah.
Yikes. I'm not putting money on anyone. Betting's bad, and in fact, I'm more about guessing. That's what I'm going to do.
Guessing, yeah.
Guessing.
Who would you guess on?
If
you
I had to guess on one team here, I'm putting all of my guesses in one basket, and that's going to be on the Renegades. Obviously, just from the boy wonder over there in JKS, who's still left standing through another roster change. The Australian Shroud, I've even called him multiple times, and I'll call him again. This kid is an aimer. He's a fragger, and perhaps this has brought a new breath of fresh air into his life.
I think that actually has to be really nice for the Renegades players as well. I mean, when you play as much as you can do with a set lineup and how nice it is to see teams trying to work through issues they have, actually getting some fresh blood, having people who've never, taken the step onto this kind of a stage, whether it's tier 2 or tier 1 tournaments, they're going to come in, rooted up their lives. They're going to be so excited to actually just put in the work, which is something that, from time to time fades within certain players in multiple teams. So I think for someone like Aza and JKS, they're going to feel like this is a new chance, a new beginning in so many ways, and it's actually going to be a positive outcome for them.
Well, Sean, through roster changes throughout history, looking at some of old players and mashing them up with new players, is there a sort of that middle even ground where in which I mean,
I have to interrupt you, Trace.
No, I understand. Yeah, let's break in the breaking news.
Yeah, I mean, is Viva playing with a piece of cloth over his mouse?
I think so.
Maybe it's the Jordan Gilbert approach.
Yeah, I was about he did it with keyboard, right?
Maybe he has sweaty hands.
Sweaty palms, and his arms are a little
He's
heavy.
weak.
Arms heavy.
No, what I'm trying to say is having new and old mash up in the same lineup, and then thinking about okay, so if you're an older guy, you're on the chopping block. Unfortunately, that's usually how it goes, unless you're in Swedish Counter-Strike.
No, yeah, I agree. Renegades has done a good job of mixing up that new blood with the old blood. I'm interested to see the game sense of like Gratisfaction and Liaz coming from the Australian scene, mixing in with an NA team. If they, somehow form well for this first tournament, I think it's going to be harder than what you would expect. But having a coach like Hassad behind them actually is something that I thought they needed. I was shocked when I saw him. Like, that is a huge pickup if Renegades gets Hassad back.
Oh, for sure. I'm so curious whether or not this is going to be like a temporary solution or not, because I think Hassad, the main reason why he stopped being the coach of Renegades was because like the traveling life is just really tough to actually deal with. But maybe he's refocused, recharged, and ready to go again. I think that's going to be great for them. I'm really curious about it as well. But like for Gratification and Liaz, playing against a Chinese team might be familiar territory.
Of course, we do have a knife round to determine sides. I'm going to take these few seconds just to shout out Prius, who's in chat right now, who is the world's, I think, 5th or 6th best observer.
Somewhere.
Somewhere around that.
Somewhere around there. But it does look like CyberZen wins the knife round, which, if you're CyberZen, where do you want to start?
CT side.
Probably CT side, yes.
Yeah. And I mean, especially because Chinese or Asian teams in general have had a tendency of being pretty poor on their T side. Tyler's been like the one anomaly to that rule, or that one exception, where they've actually been able to muster up rounds on the T side as well. So I think if that's, history is anything to go by, CyberZen have to start CT side and hope to get a buttload of rounds, really.
I think so, yeah. It'll be interesting to see if they use utility. Like, a lot of the stronger European teams on Inferno, I think, have the best utility usage on this map. Whereas when you watch a team like Tyloo dominate, they just try to take fights, and it works really, really well for them. So there's two totally different stylistic views as to approaching Inferno, and I want to see which one they come out with here.
Well, it is probably almost time to get in the game, but I have to ask you guys, is there any doubt in your mind that Renegades can win this, and what is the doubt?
I mean, the doubt is the unknown factor of CyberZen, right? Like, they've done well enough for themselves in China, obviously a bunch of asterisks, but yeah, no, if any sane person would go with Renegades for this one.
I'm going to have to agree with him. I'm going to go Renegades.
Renegades. Guys, I think that, again, we have gone through our predictions already, so let's...
We didn't hear from you, Trace.
Yeah, I guess we could do that. I guess I'll give you a little bit of a prediction. Here's a taste of what it feels like to be battered down by the Kangaroos. I know they had that hard time with the Emus over there, but I don't think that this one's going to be nearly as challenging for them. Thoughts?
The Emus definitely did put up a good fight.
Emus, yes, we're back onto that one. Either way, I feel like we're going to be getting to the game here any second now, just waiting for clarification. Oh, there it is. That was the voice of reason, the voice of the man upstairs in my ear, of course. Time to get into the game, time to play a little Counter-Strike, and we're going to do that with these commentators who we brought in early this morning to kick off the StarSeries Season 6. Take it away, guys.
Yeah, I'm definitely glad there was a voice of reason, like, somewhere within the desk. I sort of thought it was going to be Sean, but he sort of seemed to get lost a little bit along the way, just so with Trez taking over with the Battle of the Emus. But either way, we are going to be going into the game relatively soon. And where are you putting all of your guesses on this one?
All of my hypothetical money. I'm going to jump at the Renegades camp. I think it's very hard to not do that unless, maybe their PCs disappear or turn off halfway through the game. Who knows? Yeah, this definitely looks good for them, although it's the map that is bringing me into question, right? Obviously, you already talked about on the desk, but Renegades Renegades, the only time they played this with a new roster was in Pro League just the other day. 16-3 win over E United. So again, not really much of a test there. Whereas, as we know, this CyberZen roster is really sick on Inferno, at least domestically. Let's see how now that translates into some of the best teams in the world.
Well, yeah, the Death said any sane person would go for Renegades, and that's why I'm actually going to choose the Asian team and go with Cyber. I don't know. I've just I've got to be a little bit different. I think one person has to go with a little bit of Asian CS. I feel like Blair's probably at home, like rejoicing at the moment. But no, I just think that the way that they have always played this map, like same with Tyloo, is just so ridiculous. And I don't think that, although Renegades will have played against like different Asian teams, I think that's the one advantage they have against a lot of sort of other teams coming up against like the likes of Tyloo is, like, at least they've played them in a sort of domestic sense. That's one thing that does, because they always go back, obviously, for the minors. So they have that advantage, but it's such a new team. I just think that if CyberZen just come out with some ridiculous stuff, I know that Savage has always been one to just play Counter-Strike like no other man in existence. I always enjoyed watching the sort of old battles, like the old battles between him and Captain Mo, because you just don't know what's going to happen. Like, both players could completely miss, or they could both like leg each other. Like, it was one of the just most ridiculous games you'd ever see, and it was so exciting to watch. So I think that this team has the chance just to sheer pug their way through this map. I don't like the fact that Renegades are already winning and we haven't even started yet.
Well, it's not looking good for your
prediction. That's a little bit
Tom.
biased in my prediction.
That's a knife round, though. That's a knife round. If they won it, I didn't catch that. But let's talk about Kassar. This is quite interesting, right? We saw Kassar move from Renegades to Valiant's, coaching for a bit of a hometown team.
Yeah.
He also tweeted, which got deleted straight away, "I'm done," after Valiant's lost some online match a few weeks ago, and a lot of people questioned, what would happen. Is he staying with his team? How, what's going on internally? And now, no announcement, but he's over here with the Renegades, with the Aussies and the sole New Zealander. But yeah, that's quite an interesting change. Maybe with the roster changes.
And Jacob as well.
Jacob, yeah. But he's basically
he's basically Australian. They've claimed him.
I think at this point it's like maybe he sees some new hope with this roster. Maybe he believes in it again.
Well, yeah,
we'll give it a go.
It's definitely possible that maybe just like Nifty's calling style was slightly different to what he wanted, and now that they've got sort of the thing is, now they really need him. That's what I think, at least, because this is a brand new role for him, so you need someone who's just going to guide him along the way, set him up with all these strategies, and I think that, well, you sort of saw the peak of Renegades came with Kassar, and the drop-off came the second he left. Like, that team, okay, they started dwindling a bit, that's why he sort of left, but they dropped hard afterwards.
Well, let's look at last StarSeries, right? Because that was the falling point for Renegades. Last StarSeries, they completely bottomed out, got nothing done, and that, like, right before that, they were reaching their peak. They were hitting the heights. Even remember late last year, they were able to pick up that win at the Invitational, the Starladder Invitational in Shanghai as well that we were at. I mean, VP. Renegades have certainly looked up and down, but hey, maybe this could be their chance to pull things back again. If we think back to the major just a couple of weeks ago, they only got one win in the challenger stage there, and that was versus a Space Soldiers roster playing with a coach stand-in. I think we have missed the pissed around here, Tom. That I can see you looking very confused. That's what it looks like.
It actually is 1-0.
But yeah, maybe
either that or maybe it just needs a restart. Who knows?
Nah,
it does look like we missed the pistol.
First game of the day, though. We're jumping in, Tom.
Yeah. Wow, those CZs. I think they're still just it's so unbelievably ridiculous, and I think like the Chinese players all the way through have been always very, very good with their pistols. I think that's something that there's no doubt about it, individually skilled. So I'm going to be looking forward to this. Obviously, you can see the sort of odds at the bottom of your screen at the moment. Definitely the people at home are favoring Renegades, and I can't say I'm overly surprised.
Well, let's jump into this one. T-side start for the Renegades, as they've already picked up the pistol round, and this probably won't be too much of a task either, with CyberZen running to their death down on Banana. We have a couple of kills early on, but a third player spotted. So Renegades, they're not going to go barreling into this bomb site just yet. They've still got a man outside the apartments to lock down any A aggression down middle. But Bottle, he's been called in to join the rest of his team, and CyberZen, they've got a triple stack here now.
Yeah, I think they sort of said on the desk, I wonder what style they're going to be playing. Will it be the high utility style, or will it be the aggressive run down Banana and take the fights? I think the question's already been answered. Two CZs just straight down Banana within the first 20 seconds of the round and already dead. And it seemed like Renegades were prepared, although they have taken quite a lot of early damage. I imagine from this point onwards, we really should just see the CTs just hold on to what they've got. Like, retaking this is impossible. If they manage to do it, Renegades would have to make some sort of ludicrous mistake and just keep it, bring something into the next round. Still a good chance to do some damage, and if you manage to sort of steal an AK in the next, you can actually keep into your buy round, so really not that bad at all.
I actually like this this bomb timer defuse line as well. We've got a lot of cool new things here at the Season 6 Star Series finals. So yeah, that'll be fun. And that's good as well. It doesn't actually give away the amount of time, like where the point of the bomb timer goes low. I assume that diffuse line will speed up, right? So you're not always going to know if the diffuse is going to come in time. But that's interesting. Either way, we'll see that come into use later. For now, it is just exits for CyberZen. Although Renegades are the ones hunting here on the B-bomb side, there is just no need to peek if you're CyberZen. You're not going to get any significant damage out of this round, apart from the fact that Gratisfaction goes down to the bomb. Certainly not what you would have wanted, but yeah, just another anti-eco here for Renegades. Get rid of those saved pistols and the saved Kevlar from the side of CyberZen, and then we'll have a buy round in the fourth.
I'm quite interested by the fact that it was actually the AKs that were hunting and the SMGs were sort of like holding onto their weapons. So you don't want to lose one of those AKs to a pistol. Like, a bit of risk, but ultimately absolutely nothing came of it. And we are just going to have those pistols sort of brought back in. Interesting that Bottle actually bought a decoy. Yeah. Like, I want to know if he's got some sort of amazing decoy strategy or if they are just having a stack. And no, actually, he's on the side of the map. Maybe he's just trying to fake it as a full stack, but a bit of a weird one. The T's are already starting to take quite a bit of control in towards mid, and obviously Savage has absolutely nothing. So the second they go over towards that A site, that is round done, and Azza in the meantime is just going to try and probe, try and find out if there is a stack here, and that can pretty much just set everything up for his team.
I mean, he's just distracting. He's keeping CyberZen with the full setup here, maybe reading a little bit into that previous round where CyberZen were very early to rotate into that B-bomb site. It will be the same case here again, but Renegades, they've wrapped Moto. Savage has actually got so much misinformation by pushing apartments here because Renegades are already on that A site and the bomb will be going down before these CyberZen players expect it. They're going to be very confused now with the plant coming in and realize, oh, okay, we were on the wrong side.
I love how you just see Savage just slowly start walking back like, okay, guys, maybe I made a bit of a mistake. I'll just wait down here. And actually, Azza just is single-handedly just killing everybody over towards the B side. They're not even going to get to steal that Mac-10. He almost gets the kill onto HZ as well, and Jacob will finish it off. Nice clean round as well from the T side, and Gratisfaction actually only had a USP. He didn't even buy in for anything else, so if he wants to jump straight onto the AWP, he can. But T side of Inferno, it's sort of one of those things that do you want to do that early on?
Especially when you know they're not going to have it in this round for the CT side, right? Like that's the big question mark. You will especially see, I mean, that's a question mark for Renegades, right? Because you'll have rosters like maybe Liquid or Space Soldiers that are very like 5-man rifle rosters. Yeah. They're not going to pick up that AWP early. The only way we'll see them get the AWP into maybe the T side of Inferno is if they get being countered hard or if they get a free one off of the body of the CTs. So the question is, does Gratisfaction want to play it like that? Do they want to pull it in early when you know that CyberZen, because of that second round force, won't have their own? It's maybe a bit of a mind game here for Renegades. And we've got a short pause, maybe a technical here as we just see what's going on for the side of Renegades. Hopefully no issues.
But yeah, based off the first few rounds, they've already built up a hell of a lot of cash. Obviously, like, I think it's actually only been Azza to die in both rounds, and he sat with 246 ADR. So there's a pretty good reason for that. He's just been killing absolutely everybody. Currently sat 6-2, and it works wonderfully for his team because it just means, okay, sure, most of them don't have much in terms of kills, but they've just saved their weapons. They can use this as almost like a massive level bonus round because I think most of the players are on like 5K plus already post round. So even if they lose the next one, they get a bomb plant, they're already around the sort of like 7-8K marker, which is insane this early in the game. So you do have to worry for CyberZen. The fact is, even if they win this next round, even if it's not particularly clean, they're going to struggle. And any other map, like, it's a problem. Inferno, it's a big problem because this is easily like the heaviest utility map in the game. I think just, especially for the CT side, HEs, incredibly valuable. Like, I think this is the map where this is why I love the sort of in-game ADR stat now, is because you can just, like, especially when you do like online casts, you can just click it and just see, like, on Inferno, if you see a CT side where there isn't a player that has like 200 ADR or 200 damage, utility damage even, then there's something going wrong because in reality, that banana control is so heavy. Like, you always see, like, Astralis, for example, with like the double Molotovs going down there with some HEs to just try and bash people down. And the fact is, even if you don't get a kill, even if you're just taking a chunk of damage off, it helps you so much in the future of the rounds. And well, basically what I'm trying to say is for CyberZen, they're not going to have that this round because they just don't have the money. Even if they lose like a few players in this one, they won't have it in the next round unless they drop down to sort of like lower weaponry. And then after that, we're already looking, what, like potentially 5-0 or 4-1, and then they're money screwed again. So this could get off to a really awful start. That's why a lot of the time I like to see that teams maybe just buy a Deagle or something in that second round. Because chances are you're not going to win it. If you do with a Deagle, then great, but it's not really worth the risk.
And it's even, we're at the point where it's like, you know, even if you win that second round as a CT with CZ75s, if you don't keep 3 or 4 players alive, say you keep 1 alive, right, and you win that force buy, you know Renegade's going to buy back anyway, and then you could just get crushed even worse, and Renegades will be 2-1 up, you'll be onto a double eco, there we go, it's 4-1 up, and now you have rifles, right? It's not fun. It can easily go very wrong forcing on this map. But hey, either way, we'll be waiting for that buy round from CyberZen. As you said it yourself, Tom, utility's going to be a problem. Maybe a smoke, maybe double flash at most. But that second round force will really come back to hurt them. That being said, if we look at CT sides, especially from Chinese teams, let's look at like Tyloo or even Asian teams. Let's look at MVP. They love running SMGs on this map. The amount of MP9s we see playing close passive setups on that A bomb site, you know, shotguns as well. It's not like there aren't options for CyberZen, but if they want to go for full rifles, they may have a problem.
Somebody who, I think he played like an MP9 for like 12 rounds at one of the CT sides.
I mean, Zine does it every game for MVP. Like every game, you'll just see him play long with an MP9, which is like the weirdest position to play long with. But he'll just hold close corner, and it's really nice to see. So, yeah, maybe CyberZen going to go for something similar. I don't know.
I want shotguns. I want an apartment shotgun. That's what I like.
Now, Tom, where do you go with CT shotguns? Are you a Mag 7 man? Are you a man of auto shotgun?
XM every day. It's just it sounds better. It feels better when you get like that headshot. And it's just one shot. Although I will say Mag 7's pretty fun as well. Nova can just get out.
The thing is, I think the Nova's good, but like you're just going to spend $500 more and get a significantly better shotgun for the Mag 7. So the Nova really doesn't have too much of a place.
And there's so many plays. Like you can play it on banana, close. Obviously, just make sure you avoid the millions of nades which are going to be thrown at you at the beginning of the round. You got to be smart. You can even play it back towards the site if you play like up close. Like, this is definitely a map where shotguns could come into play, and obviously I'm a big fan. But anyway, I feel like there's not that much to talk about just yet with this actual matchup. So I want to ask you a question of who is your dark horse? Because obviously I think the Mouse Sports are the favourites after their win coming off of New York. I think that, like, especially individually, they've got a massively talented roster. So I'm just interested, like, if you had to pick like a team that's sort of in that mid-level or have been like rising, who would you say could just steal the whole tournament?
Okay. Now I don't want to say steal the whole tournament because I think that's very hard to bet against. Like,
if they could. I'm not saying they will. They could.
Yeah. Okay, fine. I'll give you my dark horse without getting too detailed. I think ENCE could be a surprise this event. I think this could be their chance, right? They showed some great form at Cologne. They definitely dropped off since then. They've been having problems online, but in terms of like top tier Finnish rosters, minus some of the players that for example Sunny, which of course you would want in there that are onto bigger and better pastures. This is a really good roster right now. I hope they don't make changes if they don't do well this event, but I would see that as a very likely possibility. So
but
as a result,
do they bring in? Because that's the difficult thing.
But there's so much talent, right? That you still got like 3 or 4 more Finnish teams that are actually relevant enough that you could pick up players. You got iGame, you got Harvu still. It's not like there's a lack of upcoming Finnish talent.
It's just whether they're better than what they've already got.
Well, yeah, again, you don't know the details of the team, right? You don't know if there's internal issues. You don't know do the players like each other. There's so many questions. So for me, ENCE, big dark horse in this event.
I thought you were going to say ENCE and Big.
I was going to say Big as well.
That's who I thought you were going to say.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I can't say Big without people going, oh, it's because it's UK, but I think Big could be exciting to watch. But let's jump back into the game.
You can ask me later.
Yeah.
If there's another pause.
Okay. I know exactly what you're going to say, but either way, we're into this one. CyberZen, deep banana control in this 4th round, Tom. They've already thrown pretty much all their utility, apart from Savage, who's gone for the SMG. We did say this was likely to be a buy-up. And the fact that CyberZen have gone for very deep smokes very early on is a bit of a problem for themselves. It means they're going to have to back off quite early on into the round. And now, 1 minute 20, that apartment smoke fades, the bottom B smoke fades. CyberZen have no map control, no utility to hold on to it, and Renegades are given all the free room to do exactly what they want.
Yeah, they pretty much just set the one man who has any utility as the solo B player, and they know they have to take a risk, but the risk may pay off. They've actually got 4 players over towards the site already, and the crossfire is working out, but Jacob and Azra are not letting this go without a fight. They managed to find a couple of kills, make that a 3rd already, and it's left all onto Jacob. He won't be able to finish it, but this is even something we mentioned. It is a round on the board for CyberZen, but look how much money there already is for the T side. Okay, Gratisfaction's in a little bit of trouble because he bought an AWP, but, well, I think Liaz will be able to cover his teammate comfortably.
Drops can come over, and this is Renegade's chance to actually bounce back and reset the CyberZen economy. But this is the discussion we were having earlier, Tom, coming back to haunt Renegades. They've given an AWP to CyberZen.
Yeah.
They've given them that upgrade, and it's on Savage, of course, not the player you want to be giving an AWP to if you are an Australian fan. Savage, though, not going to spot anyone middle. It's the aggression down Banana again. This time working out wonderfully. No idea how Viva gets away with that kill, but it's not going to be punished because Renegades are smoked off down the bottom of Banana. Their nades will do significant damage in response. CyberZen still hold that man advantage.
You just love it, because that is just insane.
Yeah.
Like, there is no logic behind what he just did. It's like, there's a Molotov there. I'm going to run through it with no team support, kill him, and then just stand there and just wait for the Molotov to fade. Like, it's mental, but that's the thing I was talking about with Renegades, is that just countering that's going to be so frustrating. There's going to be no portion of the map where you're going to be like, you know what, I'm safe here. And they've actually rotated that AWP over, and they're going to do the same as they did in the previous round. Set up Savage. This time he even has an AWP, so he's slightly better off than in the previous round. They'll go for this gamble 4-stack over towards the A site, which one of the most common strategies you can ever see in Inferno. Like, it is just pretty much the standard at this point. And pretty much all that's going to happen is if Savage misses a shot over towards the Banana, he'll fall back, and just slowly they'll rotate another player over. So it does work very effectively.
Oh, a 1-for-1 shot. Both of them getting tagged. Yeah, Gratisfaction only 1 health left. Savage even tagged himself, so he's not exactly getting off there scot-free. That's going to call for a rotate because Savage had no utility to delay this Banana play for Renegades, but it is only a fake. They've done at least a good job of drawing TB back to this side of the map. In the meantime, finding Bottle up on A is going to make a big opening for Renegades. 25 seconds left on the clock. They're going to have to be fast or they may run out of time.
Actually going to double molly in now. TB's going to go down. Beaver in the site could be the snake in the grass if they don't check this properly. He's going to spray down one. So close. Look how low the remaining players are. There's so many duels that have gone on within this round that could have completely turned it. The fact is, though, it doesn't matter. Renegades have taken it. There's nothing that Savage can do here. He's not going to go for the fight. He just wants to save that AWP. And although it's close, it makes no difference because CyberZen are wrecked when it comes to economy. It's just going to be Savage and probably some pistols.
You could even argue for a force buy here for CyberZen round that
for
AWP.
sure. Yeah,
right?
no, that's why CZs.
Yeah. Bit of an awkward start to the map for the Chinese, but Renegades, some big entries coming through that A site. Kind of stars aligning, right? They draw that second rotation back towards B. They are aware of that potential quad A stack that CyberZen ran in the previous buy round. And then Renegades able to find the appropriate kills with just seconds remaining for that bomb plant. Savage will save his AWP. Renegades not able to take it off of him.
Look how close they are to
Yeah,
each
right.
other. But the thing is, for Renegades, it's just not worth it. Like, they had no idea where he is, and they were all so low on HP. So, yeah, just basically just keep what you got. Focus on your own money. I don't think that there'll be much here. It will probably just be the same sort of CZs, maybe a Deagle or two, and I think 1 or 2 players could have possibly afforded an SMG. I think it'd be a bit weird if they decided to save, because in all honesty, they won't have anything in the next round. And it's just going to be the straight CZs and an alt buy. And I will say, I've seen this work so many times.
Oh, I mean, if there's any team that's going to get it done, it would be an Asian one, right? TB right down Banana. Jaken going to run through the Molotov as that starts to spread to his position. He had to move there, Tom, or he was dead. And as a result, TB going to catch him off guard. Renegades need to be careful in this Banana, right? We are seeing this happen time and time again, losing that man advantage. And while they're 4-1 up, you're just making your job more difficult for yourself. So nice work from CyberZen again to get that pick. And now, Tom, again the same setup. Solo B player with the AWP. The AK is rotated with the CZ stack. Renegades are walking into an absolute bloodbath.
Otto on the angle, he sees the shadow and goes for a little bit of a pre-fire, but still both entries go the way of this T side. They're still going to continue the push. Hurricanes, again, it's just dinks. They're unable to actually finish off any of these players. However, TB coming around the corner, only going to manage one. Hurricane slightly missing the shot, and that may be the end of him. Somehow still surviving and actually takes down one more. There's plenty of time on the clock, and he's close again, but Savage is there with the AWP, and Gratisfaction is low. The fact is, though, it's an AWP battle, so in all honesty, the HP is not going to be a big problem.
This wrap round, though, Gratisfaction, he needs to be ready, expecting it. The flash is going to come over from long, and now he's aware of the reposition. He's not in library anymore. But does he expect the flank? Gratisfaction moving back round. The USP's out for Savage as well, but he's just going to get into the apartments. That's so close by. Gratisfaction walking to his inevitable death, but Savage misses the shot. Oh, that was close. That could have gone very wrong. And Tom, you said it yourself. I mean, you've seen these rounds win before. It's going to work out for CyberZen.
Yeah, the trusty CZ. But at the same time, there was still like a few mistakes made along the way. Like that was a couple man advantage there for the T side. They get the opening kills and then they just can't clear pit. That man in pit like ran out of bullets twice and still able to just keep reloading and get a couple more kills, and that allowed for the rotation of Savage. Like the fact is, if they cleared him quicker, Savage would have absolutely no hope in that round. And now actually, well, it's not a complete destruction of Renegade's economy. They're still going to have enough to buy into the next round, so it's not a big problem. And if they can do some damage here, then it really won't be worrying at all. They've just got to try and keep that economy low. They don't want it to build up, because that's where things really do get scary on Inferno. If you can get all of the utility you desire, the weaponry as well, but at the moment we can still see 2 SMGs, a FAMAS, and anybody who doesn't have that doesn't have full utility.
This time, CyberZen will not be opting to go for the double rotate. They know they're up against pistols, so B pushes are very likely in this round, but Renegades want quite the opposite. Bottle playing close. With only one armored player, yeah, these SMGs, they are going to be a nightmare for Renegades. Gratisfaction about to find that out potentially the hard way. His shadow is spotted. It's a long wrap for Renegades. They could even work their way into the CT spawn. I don't think they were even expecting this when they set up for this round. They've been given so much free room. But CyberZen, they definitely know about the possibility. Savage going to rotate in. He's not ready for this at all. Jacob's taking him down. That's the AWP and the B site open for business. There's only TB here. HZ will kill a man in the apartments, but Renegades are wrapping ruins, looking to ruin CyberZen's day. TB's waiting for a flank that will never come through, and Renegades can get the bomb down.
Yeah, I think it's not even necessarily just for the player coming in from behind it. He was just going for the retake. Because I think he knows if he goes to try and spray down 4 players at once that it's just not going to happen. But this is already a massive mistake from CyberZen. A bomb plant is more than Renegades probably would have expected going into this round. And now the CTs actually have to retake, and they've got no utility left. This is just going to come straight to aim battles where you got that AWP, you got the Deagles, but already the AWP hits the deck. Another comes in for TB, and he clears the site. It's left all onto one man. Liaz trying to do a bit of damage along the way. He can't stop the man defusing. That's a great shot, though. And in all honesty, 3 kills. It is going to go their way just in the end. It was actually getting pretty close. They didn't have a kit. But, yeah, 3 kills and also a bomb plant. That's an excellent round.
Yeah, that's a huge round for Renegades, considering they didn't even force, right? They went for just pistols.
And obviously, sponsor, we've got to shout it out and just say thank you, obviously, to NVIDIA. So if you don't already have NVIDIA products,
what are you
then
doing?
obviously check them out. Yeah, because like, is there even another option? I've never heard of them.
All these gamers do, Tom. They love some NVIDIA. Yeah, but still, sick round for Renegades to actually get so much damage. The problem there is if you're going to give up CT and allow for that wrap, you need to be aware of it, right? And it seemed that CyberZen had a massive hole with having no information, or sorry, no idea that Renegades were even in the CT spawn. You can hold that for about 20 seconds without worrying about the long wrap, but after 20 to 30 seconds, if you're giving Renegades the mid control, you need to be aware that they could be behind your team. So, yeah. I don't think we're going to see that mistake again, and Renegades, stars aligning to allow for a bomb plant and 3 kills. It's now going to be the AWP back on Gratisfaction, but he's already getting wrecked down banana by this utility. Savage going to move in, luckily moving out at the same time because Azza was close there with an AK. Renegades need to be very careful. Gratisfaction still looking for this pick down on B. The utility has been expended by CyberZen on that side of the map, so all the nades left back to A. With 4 players again, Tom, CyberZen loving these quad A stacks.
Yeah, and this time they've switched up that they're actually leaving the AWP over towards A, so it is just going to be Hurricanes there alone. Viva there alone. He does actually have himself a smoke. Savage looking for the peak. No, he's a very aggressive AWPer. He's always been one of my favorites to watch. Just, okay. He's going to get a second chance. Never mind. Jacob is just oblivious. He's like, what was that sound? Absolutely no clue. Doesn't bother to turn around, and will be a freebie kill. And Bottles managed to grab himself a second. A great start to the round for CyberZen. A little bit of luck going a long way. Nice shot from Gratisfaction, but he doesn't actually get the rewards. So Viva will be there to fall back, and I like this. They're trying to play the game. They've already got, well, now a 1-man advantage, so it's not really necessary, but this is smart. JKS, absolutely. Oh my goodness. Some of the misses in this round are going to give me a heart attack, but it doesn't matter. TB clears it up anyway, and it will now be the scoreline equalized, and the CT's actually starting to build because they've gone for a double AWP actually.
Yeah,
they're going to throw in a second.
They picked it up off the body of Gratisfaction there in Banana. And like, while the AWP hasn't been a huge problem for them so far, for Renegades at least, with 2, you're going to meet one, no matter where you go. That's going 1 per site. It allows for that solo B AWPer again, and you know, now even an AWP on the A site as well. This just makes things even more difficult for Renegades, and they've realized Kassar got to be called in on a short tactical pause. The money from Renegades is starting to be a bit more of a glaring issue as CyberZen find yet another round on the CT side.
Yeah, I think the thing for Renegades at the moment is just spotting the holes, because they managed to do it in a pistol round. Just that it seems like there's always gaps for the CT side, like especially the fact that for the majority of the rounds they've only had 1 player over towards the B site. If they exploit that, if they work that out, I think that's been at least 3 or 4 rounds where they've done that. So if they can work that out quickly, then things will be very, very different for Renegades, and they can start actually forcing CyberZen to keep 2 players there, because that's the big problem. They're constantly pushing into this A site, and every single time they go there, there are 4 players there. Every single time. So definitely needing to sort of bait out these players early on. Push going to be coming through. That nade is going to do quite a bit of damage, and already Viva with the double nade kill. They are actually getting closed down though. They've got to be careful. TB's already very low on HP. Rotation is coming around from Savage, who they don't have a smoke to actually cover off, which is going to make things almost impossible for him. The rest of the team coming, but again, these pistols doing work. JKS has dropped a man low, and Savage obviously is just going to re-peek straight into his doom. The problem is the bomb dropped, but JKS 1v2.
And he knows the first man's in Ruin as well, but does he expect this banana flank? Him wiping can cause his own death from behind, but Bottle wins the fight instead. And CyberZen, yeah, they're getting damn close to losing these anti-ecos, but they are winning them consistently, Tom, and that's all that matters, right? Whereas we saw CyberZen manage to win their own force buy in the second round. Renegades, they can't quite find these pistol plays. So 5-4, back in the lead now for CyberZen. Well, first time this map. And the double AWP is not a factor in this one. H said is going to be on that dropped AK. Oh, sorry, M4 as Renegades go for a full AKs. And yeah, I want to see some faster approaches from Renegades. The problem is they're being shut out of this banana very early on by CyberZen's utility. And it's the same case this time. Already Molotov's going down. Azza pushes ahead of it. But as we saw in the previous round, the nades are going to be a problem as well. Luckily enough for this time, Renegades don't get tagged. But Bottle is behind enemy lines.
How has this happened? Gratisfaction almost gets the timing perfect, but instead, and he's just going to carry on going. All 3 kills for Bottle. He should barely have even got away with 2. And while Liaz and JKS are just sort of stuck now. They've got no bomb. One man has just made an absolutely ludicrous play. And again, we're just talking about this from CyberZen. It's like, again, the desk just mentioned, like, will they play like normal Counter-Strike with all the utility, or will they just do stupid plays, just run down mid? But the fact is, you can't expect this sort of stuff, and Renegades are being caught out time and time again. And the worrying factor is, the more it works, the harder it's going to be to come back from.
I mean, and yeah, you saw that player cam there. Renegades, they don't have smiles on their faces. They're not looking too happy about that round. I do not blame them.
No.
That's so unfortunate as well, right? And you notice the early Molotov down middle from the CT side. I can't remember who threw it, but they threw it towards a ramp. That now instantly forces Renegades to not peek mid. They send 3 players into Banana. The other 2 have gone second mid, so they can't even watch that cross down from Bottle. And he just runs behind Renegades.
He joined the team for it.
That's obscene, Tom. Team killing in Banana. Feeling like it's Cloud9 all over again. Exiting B. 6-4 now for CyberZen. They're back on the double AWP, maybe slowing down this aggression now on the CT side, but the right time to do it because Renegades are back on pistols. They've had a couple of close rounds like these before, but this needs to be a turnaround for Renegades. They need to definitely get the damage done because CyberZen are beginning to build up an economy.
Yeah, 5 rounds in a row now for CyberZen. It was only really the early battle where the economy came into play, and that sort of one cheeky win with the AWP and the CZs has really brought this team to life. And the funny thing is, in the buy rounds, they've actually been excellent. Like, their buy rounds have been close to flawless most of the time. It's these pistol rounds where they've really had trouble, and that's because most of the time, Renegades are just throwing something really basic, really fast, and it's been catching the players off guard. Now, this time, they've gone into more of a default. It seems like they're probably a bit shaken by the man just pushing down mid, so they're going a little bit slower. And by the looks of things, they're going to expend their utility in towards this A site once again. The problem is, they've been so unsuccessful because there's always 4 players here.
Oh, and look at this bait setup as well. If they don't check this corner, if Savage takes their attention away, TV could do the work. Elias, he will check the position. Savage trading for one, but there they've overrun him. And that's opened up the B site again, Tom. We've already seen Renegades have a post plant from this CT wrap before. This time, the CTs expect it, but knowing is half the battle. Gratisfaction takes down Viva, and the site is open. 4v2 for Renegades. This should be unlosable.
Yeah, you almost have to wonder if it's worth saving for the CT side, but that might change things. The aggression from Liaz, but I think even still, they're just going to, okay, we took a little bit away. The T side have got themselves a double orb setup, which is probably not something they're going to particularly want. But that's actually the first round we've seen Gratisfaction come to life. He's been dead silent so far in this match. And the thing is, I think when you look at a lot of their sort of Pro League matches, like the one where they managed to beat Complexity, which is easily the best team they played so far.
Yeah.
The reason they did was because he was excellent with that AWP. Now, obviously, I will give him some slack. He's on the T side, and T side inferno AWPing is not really the most prominent thing in the world. If you're someone who doesn't really rifle that much, T side inferno is not going to be a fun time for you most of the time. And by the looks of it, that seems to be the case, because every opportunity he's got an AWP, he has. Like, it hasn't been like, oh, yeah, no, this round, guys, I'll take an AK. It doesn't seem like that at all. So maybe that's just the way it's been going so far, but he doesn't look like he wants to rifle. The thing is, when he goes on the CT side, that's where I think he could take over the game.
Again, you've got to take into account, right, big shoes to fill. He's previously, the previous AWPer, sorry, for Renegades was Nifty, the IGL AWPer Supreme player that we saw do so well. He's now in the Envy roster, but yeah, definitely a flashy player. So Gratisfaction, he's starting things off slowly, but yeah, definitely a chance to ramp up here. 2 kills in the previous round. TB, that's exactly what you deserve for that kind of play. Running through a Molotov into a double nade. Renegades get that first kill. Azza will just survive, but he's got his nade out, and Viva's going back in for more. He's taken the frag, and one more. Gratisfaction caught flashed. And how the hell have CyberZen recovered like that?
Ooh, hello, JKS. He's picked up a cheeky little orb. I just love how insane CyberZen are. It doesn't matter what they're doing, they'll just keep fighting. But the thing is, Renegades now have to go that way because the bomb's dropped on Banana. So they have to keep running into this stack of like mental players.
That being said, JKS is diving through a smoke without a flashbang. I've got to throw a big question mark on that for Renegades. This has now left them in a horrible spot, right? Because in a 3-on-3, this is certainly doable. What you can easily do, considering this happened so early on, is try and take A and wrap CT and get to that B bomb site. It's not like Renegades haven't done that before. However, for now we have 3 CTs up on this B bomb site. Even watching the flank is going to be HZ as Liaz and Jacob try and work their way back into Banana. They put the pressure up. Nice kill started. Trade is there, and Bottle has been playing out of his damn mind this game. 3 more frags for him. Lots of multi-kills for CyberZen, and yeah, 11 kills on Bottle. They're looking very, very ready to go.
Yeah, it's just like, I have to say, I'm really enjoying watching CyberZen
Yeah, this
play.
is fun. This is
like,
fun.
because
yeah.
it's just not normal.
No.
Like, they just, like, the first player there, they finally countered him because they were just like, we're being pushed every round. Let's just throw so much utility up mid that if anybody runs anywhere near it, they're dead. But then they just didn't expect just Viva to go, well, he's dead. My turn, and just runs out and just peeks and just takes 2 kills. That second kill as well was ridiculous. Just managing to snap from the first straight onto the second, transition and get 2. He shouldn't have got away with that. And then after all that, JKS kills on through the smoke and a board, and they still don't manage to win the round because he then has to try and get the bomb back. It's just madness. And I think for Kassad right now, just having a little chat with the team, he's probably just going, let's just calm it down a bit because you keep fighting these guys, you keep losing. We got the first kill. We didn't really need to do anything else. We just needed to wait and see if they pushed, and they still weren't ready.
I think Renegades need to go back towards this A site. B is being a nightmare for them. Savage with a deep Molotov down middle, and he's got the AWP to back it up as well. They won't be able to get their way into that headshot position. And only 2 AKs for Renegades here. They've gone for that force buy after getting reset in the previous round. That's already going to hurt the economy, and considering there's only a couple left of the half as well, Renegades need everything they can get. That being said, Tom, we are kind of, saying this is looking really good for CyberZen, but 5 rounds T side, 10-5, not a bad half by any means. I think just people kind of expected Renegades to have an easier chance here, an easier job. So 5 or 6 rounds, not the end of the world.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's more just that we expected more from Renegades and maybe not so much. Savage has died a lot with this AWP. Yeah. Like, it's gone into these pistol rounds, it's gone over to his opponents so many times now, and someone has to fix it. And that someone seems to be Bottle, but he actually goes down this time. Hurricanes is still in the site, but he falls as well. And again, it's one of those situations where Renegades are just doing so much better in the pistol rounds. JKS with a double. And while Viva has no choice here but to just try and hold on, and you can sort of see how close a lot of these rounds have been when you look at the economy now for CyberZen, it is not in a good state.
Not by any means, and that's a big round for Renegades. We just talked about how they need everything they can get in round number 13, starting to run out of options. So 6 here on the T side and putting CyberZen on definitely a buy. Don't get me wrong, as you say, the money isn't great, but they're definitely going to force up as a result of this round. Because again, the winner of round number 14 is going to put the opposing team onto a very low buy for the final 1.5. That being said, Renegades keeping 4 alive so far and not hunting for this final player means that they're going to have a bit of bank to play with for those last couple of rounds. 7-6 here. CyberZen leading, but Renegades not out of this one just yet. JKS, again, he's been getting a lot of entry kills as well. It's nice to see him step up. We've already talked about how, okay, this team's had roster changes. We've lost the AWP, we've lost the IGL, that being Nifty. We've lost a big part of the team there. So we need some players to come in and fill those boots, and JKS so far is doing well.
But yeah, I think when Renegades were at their best, I would argue that Nifty was the best AWP in NA. Like, I think he's insanely talented, and what wasn't it the game? It was like 50 for Nifty. Like that never happens. Yeah. Like 50 kills in a competitive match of Counter-Strike just doesn't happen. So the guy's nuts, and losing someone like that is a difficult one. So we'll see how they come back from it. But at the same time, things weren't going well for Renegades. So changes need to be made. The new team definitely looks like it has a lot of life in it. It brings back the whole like the region thing, because I feel like it was almost like the thing you love about Renegades is it is a lot of sort of Aussie Counter-Strike, like at least from that side of the world. So the fact they then changed a little bit, you had like the American player in there. Obviously they've lost one of their Aussies. They've got the same amount technically, but even still, it just feels more.
I'm glad they kept the core. At least. Like, I'm glad we have 3 Aussies in this team, and even a New Zealander. But let's get back to that later, because it's a fast mid-play here for Renegades, getting ripped apart by Bottle, as has been this entire map. A bit of a flash there not working out for the CT side, and Bottle will get traded. But we're back into a 2-on-2, where they can find TB in the pit. Maybe this is a winnable round, but he's at least taken a 1v1, trying to keep himself alive, trying to allow for that rotate down off B. But Gratisfaction now in a clutch, one of the latest additions to Renegades.
Oh, okay. He just like threw his AWP away, didn't even have another rifle yet, but clearly he's managed to get one. He was taking his sweet time down the bottom of mid, so he's been given a chance. Still going to come down to timing, and he actually checks the site. Instead, gets it wrong. Gratisfaction will win them the clutch, and, well, I think that may even be the half going into their hands now.
That was the case of Gratisfaction actually smoking long, and as a result, Savage even thought that he was maybe playing on the site and keeping close to that smoke, but nope, still in the back of the pit, taking his time with a clutch, and yeah, Savage got to walk to his death. So nice round from Renegades, Tom. This is turned from what could have fallen apart in the first half. If we think back to that early reset that the CyberZen guys got the money of Renegades at one point, this is now turned back into a very favorable match for Renegades.
Yeah, this is what, like it could have been a 10-5, really.
Yeah,
it probably should have been a 10-5 for CyberZen. It just, last few rounds really haven't gone their way, and well, now they're going to try and do it with the pistols. We've already seen this once. There was an AWP to back it up. Now it's a UMP, which the worst of the 2 Ps, at least now. It used to be ridiculous.
I mean, he's loving taking fights, Tom.
Yeah, he's confident, which is a good thing in a lot of situations. And in this sort of round, I don't really blame him, because you need to go for something sort of crazy, because you're literally playing with just pistols. At the same time, it would have been nice to see maybe a flash or something to like give him a little bit of extra space and give him more of a chance of actually getting that opening kill. Either way, these sort of rounds, like in the NT ecos, should be well set up. Hurricanes going aggressive again. They just seem to hit dinks. Dink onto Jacob. Dink onto Liaz. But they're not getting any of the kills. And while Viva, 1v5, he's going to have to do something absolutely ridiculous here. And in the last round, the bomb's going down on A. Don't think there's any chance, but at least he'll be able to upgrade to an AK. Slightly better chance for him. Ooh. Okay, just waste a few seconds. You got plenty of time, buddy. It's not a 1v4 with the bomb down.
This is what we call stat padding now, Tom, because, wow, okay, taking down JKS at the bottom of middle, but yeah, this round is not winnable. There is literally no chance. I like the new knife. Not seen many of them, but yeah, this is Renegades taking 8. Either way, strong half for Renegades. Very nice to see coming into the latter stage of the half. The earlier portion, while they got the first 4-1 lead, it kind of fell out of their hands for a bit. I mean, Viva is just making a montage here. Unfortunately, an unwinnable montage. But yeah, wants to keep that KD high, so we'll run away at the end of the day. Why not? Saving in the last round of the half.
He really did take his time there. I obviously, it's an impossible scenario, so you don't really blame him for just trying to make his stats look a little bit better. Maybe trying to get that Tai Lu pickup somewhere along the way. But, you know, the guy definitely looks good individually. Bottle has been ridiculous. And now we go into the T side. Now, obviously, the sort of sporadic plays for CyberZen, it should be more predictable in a way for the CT side. But at the same time, when you see like teams go for the 1-4 setup, you almost kind of hope in a way that someone will do something ridiculous like run through a smoke and try and break them. So there is a chance that maybe CyberZen could throw off their CT side a little bit. At the same time, this is also where I expect to see more from Gratisfaction. And the good thing for him is he already started coming back into it towards the end of the half, so now he's going to be set up well to actually get that AWP rolling.
We should definitely see some more real CS, because I don't think Renegades will be playing anywhere near as crazy as CyberZen did on their CT side. Well,
you know what they say, Hugo? You got to fight fire with fire.
Yeah, maybe.
So running through flames is definitely the best way to do that.
Pistols out, though, for CyberZen. We've got utility on Savage. That will be the only man with that. Everyone else armored up. Maybe an Apps burst here. That would be a nice start, considering the setup from Renegades. If we look at this map, it's 2 players on the A bomb site. Jacob is spotting apartments, but the bomb not going to walk around first, so he's forced off without too much info. Doesn't want to commit to staying there, especially when you only have 2 players here on A. Gratisfaction playing close as well, needs to watch his back. And yeah, they're setting up a bit of an apartments play here for the T side. Savage is already down bottom and middle, putting pressure on Banana, but it's going both ways, because Renegades are going to have a very quick flank down middle if they continue with this information play down B. Unfortunately for them, though, they're actually going to begin to rotate, but it might just be in the nick of time.
Yeah, I think the CT's push down Banana sort of gave them enough information, although the flashbang does sort of hold them back a little bit. Still, the T's just playing so patiently. It does leave you with a little bit of a question mark. And the timing there for HZ is absolutely perfect. Jacob on the site needs to get a kill. And, well, it's just going to be the CZ that was picked up to actually find him another. Azza completely isolated out. And this pistol round is definitely going the way of the T side. A little bit of luck can go a long way. And that push timing was perfect. Now it's left all onto JKS. He can at least try and make himself a little bit of money. That's an excellent shot. Finds one, but Bottle just sat in the corner waiting, and it will be the scoreline equalised once again.
That is just the 5-second period that Renegades are changing the setup on the site with Gratisfaction dropping the smoke, Jacob moving to the site from the pit as well. That's when the T's push, and that is very, very unfortunate.
The odds, they've gone down a bit.
Yeah.
They were definitely much further. I think it was like 3, wasn't it? Well, it was definitely 3+ for CyberZen. So, yeah, definitely people starting to swing into the favour of the Asian side. And to be honest, I don't blame them. Although I believed in them at the beginning.
Definitely not favourite. Still 1.37 for the Renegades.
I said it's moving. It's moving.
It's moving. It's a bit better for them. As is this map now. Pistol under their hands. That's 1-1 each now in terms of pistol rounds. So CyberZen's chance to maybe build up a bit of a T side here. Renegades have pistols and armor. Gratisfaction and Liaz saving.
And JKS a little bit as well. He just happened to get himself a kill, so he had a bit of extra money. But yeah, they really are saving quite a bit of money here, which it's something I said in the last half. I like to see it. I like to see all that extra utility. The fact is that there's a lot of SMGs here, which against the unarmored players is going to be amazing, but there's still a chance that some extra damage can be done here. The T side with so much utility though, and while Bottle, he just carries on just through the smoke. I think that may have even been through a teammate, doing a lot of damage. Jacob will at least be able to find one over the other side of the map, but after the rotations have been spotted by the T side, they're now going to go running back in. Jacob is still left around the apps, which actually I think he's just missed the timing on spotting all of the players, and that is very unlucky.
Talk about timing. I mean, Renegades has just been getting the wrong end of the stick this entire half. That being said, this is only pistols here for the Australian core. I want to call them the Aussies, but there's always that one snowflake that goes, oh, there's actually a Norwegian and a New Zealander. So we'll just go with the Renegades for now. Gratisfaction caught down bottom Banana. And this round is over. CyberZen 9-8, keeping 4 players alive as well. Another big round from Bottle. And here is where Renegades have to just grit their teeth with full pistols.
Yeah, not going to be anything invested here. Like maybe if JKS wanted to buy a P250, like you could say that would come in. Gratisfaction actually go buy a flashbang. I like that. Chance to blind a few players and steal a couple of franks along the way. Just going to straight up stack the B side. Again, I always like these sort of rounds where you're not just doing the standard thing. I think that's one of the things I hate is when a team just like, yeah, we'll just send 3 USPs over towards A and 2 over towards B. It's like, but you're just going to get wrecked. Like the chance of you ever winning that round are literally 0. And then the chances here go up quite a bit.
And the plus side, right? If CyberZen walk into B, you have a chance to do damage. If CyberZen walk into A, you just save the USPs and don't give the SMG money. That's what we see more and more teams do now, especially on this map where it's so easy to just save on the other side of the map. Running into the stacked site are CyberZen. They're all blind and they're all dead as well. Bottle going to bail them out, but Liars is still traded back onto Savage. It's down to a 2v2, Tom, in a round that never should have been.
Run. Just don't go anywhere near them. That is a very powerful stack, and well, they're hunting. Gratisfaction's actually got an SMG. If he can find Bottle, just spray around the corners and just try and get himself a kill. This is actually very, very scary now. TB well positioned, and he's just going to clean things up. That needed to happen because CyberZen very nearly threw that round away. They will still get themselves a 10th, but it's not the same situation we saw from their opponents, where there was a crazy amount of money going into this sort of bonus round, where every single player had like 5 or 6 grand plus going into what would be the round that they lost. It's one of those situations where they actually only had 2 players surviving. The only positive is they did make most of the money with SMG, so they still got $600 per kill. And all in all, there's a couple of players, like for example, Bottle still has about 6 grand in the bank.
And this is the result of actually not fully forcing in the second round in terms of everyone buying up, spending every dollar they had. We've got a fair bit of utility on the CT side, right? We've got an Incendiary, we've got an AWP for Gratisfaction, albeit armorless, even nades for Liaz, so yeah, it's not the worst buy for Renegades, considering that it's the first buy round of the half. And CyberZen putting a bit of pressure on B through that smoke, but it's not going to be forcing too much. We actually have HZ wallbang his teammate. Always lovely. And CyberZen, they are looking for this very, very early apps execute. And the fact is, look at the setup from Renegades. It's Jacob close, but these 2 long players are on the wrong part of A. This could be a problem.
Oh, Jacob well placed, but he's only going to manage to get himself one. However, Azza has already found one back in the trades, and I think there's a little bit of gap around this smoke, but it's going to give vision over to Gratisfaction. He takes the head clear off the Bottle, and well, it is just going to be Hurricanes left alone. A bomb plant here would be wonderful, but the problem is it's actually in a horrible position. There's no way he can get it. It's actually on top of the balcony. For him to get up there is never going to happen. So all this just comes down to is trying to do a bit of damage along the way. They are going to start peeking in. Multiple players there, and JKS doesn't even care about his teammates' health. He just wide peeks out, removes Hurricanes from action, and it's going to be 10-9. This is the problem of sort of taking so much damage in the previous few rounds, is that there's actually, okay, there's Bottle with a lot of money, but everybody else is struggling a little bit.
Yeah, and this is Renegade's chance to pull back from that pistol beginning that CyberZen had on the second half. They're 3-0 on their T side, now bounce back. But yeah, again, Asian teams enforcing, they love it, Tom, and I wouldn't be surprised to see a buy up here from the Chinese guys. Being said, let's see how much of a force this really is, how they choose to disperse this cash. 3 AKs, 2 MAC-10s, definitely not a bad buy on this map after all, and the only problem is Renegades now have full head armor, so these SMGs are going to be somewhat weaker than they would earlier in the half. But CyberZen, rinse and repeat, Tom, back to the B play. Oh, sorry, not B play, apartments play.
Close enough.
Yeah, wrong side of the map.
Gratisfaction almost managing to find that opening. It's actually interesting. You know the flashbang he bought? That was actually enough to stop him getting Kevlar in the last round. Already, though, look at the entries. Hurricanes and Bottle just run in towards this site. Oh, no, just the MAC-10 Savage from out of nowhere just removes Liaz as well. And well, around that we were sort of talking about, oh, they've got a weak buy, things haven't gone wrong. A fast play in towards that A site have completely caught Renegades off guard, and you can just see they're running for the hills.
Funnily enough there, it's the setup from Renegades, actually, if anything, better, but works out worse. In that previous round where we saw the same execute from CyberZen, we had Renegades with a double long setup. Now, the only problem there is it gives up the site, it gives CyberZen the chance, but Renegades employ that boost up on long over the smoke. Gratisfaction cuts down 3, I think, in that round, and then they win it. The problem is here is Renegades are actually fully committed too short. So when we have that burst, those SMGs up close, they are huge problems. And yeah, CyberZen bounced back with a flawless round so far. No exits have come through here from Renegades, and this is looking like an 11-9 without a single casualty.
Yeah, that's just perfect for CyberZen. That is such a great way to bounce back, and well, the CT side left in a little bit of trouble. Now, they could realistically go for something a bit risky here. But the fact is, there's a lot of players sort of around that 2.5K mark, which means that in the next round, they would actually be able to get a purchase anyway. So you can sort of leave it down to like, okay, Gratisfaction, win us around. JKS, go on, try and do something impressive. Personally, I'd just stick both of them on one site and just basically say, look, if we can win the round off you two doing it, fine. If not, the rest of us will just save our pistols. They've not done that. They've sort of stuck them over to, I think, their normal positions. Or have they? Yeah, no, JKS is over towards B. But it's just for the early round. Look at the setup now.
Oh no, that's a pillar! Run! He's going to get away. That could have been dangerous. Either way, the smoke into middle, and CyberZen are going to go through it regardless. There's a 5-man A-stack here, Tom. There is everyone on this A-bomb site, but is it the B-Rap? Because the bomb's up Banana. Azza does shut down one, but JKS is going to join the fray with a double kill. Only problem is, the last two players of CyberZen, they're walking up Banana to that empty B site. Now, this isn't the end of the world for Renegades, because they still have a 2-man advantage, and they've started to realize this one as well.
Yeah, and the problem is that the T's have absolutely no idea that it's just clear. They've finally worked it out, but it's taken a lot of time, and that means the CT side have actually been able to rotate in. They've got full rifles, though. And the thing is here, they want to challenge this round. They don't have a kit, so they've got to do it very quickly indeed. Now, Viva's going to have to just pop some heads here. They peek round, and he gets himself too. And that already may be the question called, like, should we just be saving these weapons? The remaining two players are the one with armor. The peek coming out. Viva's just doing everything. His teammate's not even here. He's gone on a long rotation all the way back around. Aggressive faction, is he going to run into him right at the end? This is just filthy. Savage basically just played the bait. You're not going to knife him, Savage! By name, by nature. That's just disgusting.
That is out of this world. Viva needed 3 kills there, Tom, and he gets every single one. Savage even coming in with a backstab. You could not get more brutal than that.
Imagine baiting your teammate in a 2v4. Like, that's just ridiculous. Like, Viva, look, I'm going to go all the way around the back and go for a knife kill. You kill everyone else.
I mean, it is the inexperienced stars of CyberZen shining through. Bottle and Viva. Maybe he's not much experience in Bottle than it is for Viva. He's a very young player, but hey, coming into this huge LAN event for them, first big international European event with this roster, and look at the amount of damage they're doing already. Yes, okay, Renegades, new team themselves, but 12-9, CyberZen are styling right now.
Renegades faction just got wrecked.
Yeah, right. Triple stack here, and the nade's just going to dunk it perfectly. We even have another 5-man setup for Renegades. And yeah, this is the perfect round to do it.
The funny thing is here is they've done this, and it has worked like every time. Like every time someone has pushed into it, Viva just triples it. It's actually his nade as well, so he earned all of those kills. And yeah, that's just great for him. Obviously now, ooh, nice shot from JKS. That is the bomb dropped. And he's going to try and smoke this off. Now there is a Molotov. JKS just gets another, and almost one more. TB was very low. It is just that sort of craziness coming out sometimes from CyberZen. Challenging with the bomb.
Okay, Tom, this is our first game of StarSeries Season 6 Finals. This is the opening matchup. It may not be the best Counter-Strike we've ever seen, but goddamn, I'm having fun.
Oh,
these are some great rounds.
The thing is, I've always loved watching like CyberZen play. I think as a caster, it's great. As an analyst, it gives you an aneurysm. Like the amount of times where I just see Blair melt down on Twitter watching Asian Counter-Strike. Like I'm surprised the guy doesn't turn to drink more than he does already. Which that sounded more harsh than it meant to be. But either way, it's just one of those things. Like they're crazy.
This is a gobbling angle. This is an Astralis tier angle for Savage. Barely exposed, but has the shot to Gratisfaction. Gratisfaction doesn't know how close he came to death there. Lucky he did not peek after all. And Renegades, now this is another buy round. This is back to a very default setup. 2 AWPs, however. We have 1 man playing the CT spawn and a solo AWP on B. That's on JKS. I like this from Renegades. CyberZen, if they win this round, they may just win the map as a result, because Renegades will be put down to pistols on the 14-9 score. That's not a great throwing arm.
Did you keep it now?
Yeah, why not? Flash up short, Gratisfaction. He's going to be forced off this angle, cannot commit to that peak. And CyberZen, bit by bit, they have a lot of utility, but they're working their way up very close to this A-bomb site. Renegades have no information as to the whereabouts of these Ts, but they are just on the other side.
It's going to be that 4-man stack once again. Note that the only round the Renegades have won on the CT side was because this man here popped off with the AWP.
Yeah.
Other than that, they have not had a single round. They've come close many times, and while speaking of coming close, 2 HP for Bottle. But it is Azza, the one who hits the deck. And actually, now look at the setup. There's only 2 players on towards the site. Gratisfaction steps up, though. Jacob spraying away. That's already a couple of kills going back. Gratisfaction going to go down. Still, the trade's coming through. Viva, there's spray through the smoke. He's actually going to connect a little bit. They know that they have to clear Jacob, and he's just going to spin around and take off the head of another. There's absolutely no time here. The bomb dropped in the pit. Viva, well, he'll go down within seconds. And it is going to be Renegades, as you said. They survived. They're clinging on at the moment, and that is not what we expected.
That's the X factor of Jacob, right? He has been the star for this team for so long, you know, alongside that of JKS as well especially. And he's been having a bit of a slow game, but now coming back at a very crucial point. Round 24 here, and CyberZen still have money to buy up once again. So Renegades are not out of the woods just yet. We had a very lucky round in the form of Renegades, because JKS was just playing this back corner on B alone with the AWP. Now, if CyberZen went for a fast B play, there's no way JKS can get more than 1 or 2 kills there, and the round may be done and dusted, especially with the secondary AWP having, another AWP having to retake. But this time he has a bit more support. Liaz is here behind him. JKS on an off angle as well. And with no HEs for CyberZen to get this nade down, he's going to hit a ridiculous shot.
Oh, Viva just a peekaboo, and he's played a game of whack-a-mole because he's straight out of there within the first 30 seconds of this round. And that's the one thing that has been beneficial so far for CyberZen. They've been really good at getting those entry kills, but it seems that when they're playing from a more disadvantaged situation, unless, of course, they're against the pistols, it just doesn't seem to go very well at all. Either way, they're going to be able to take some echo tries. Much more passive now from Renegades. And I think they've just realized that. It's like, if we take the fight versus CyberZen, there's a chance we'll lose. A high chance we'll lose, because individually they are sound. Like, Bottle has been absolutely ridiculous. He's 26 and 13 at the moment. No one else is even close in the server. I think the next is 20, and that's just JKS getting that 1 kill there. Now, the fact is, if they don't take the fights and they just sit passively, I think CyberZen will struggle. I can't imagine them having any crazy executes.
Well, let's find out, because 30 seconds on the clock, and Renegades are pulling another player to B. They've not seen a B attack so far, not like this, a proper execute from CyberZen. We've got Liaz ready with a flashbang, JKS on new box, but they don't molly him out of position. He's going to be very, very open here, doing some damage. Liaz runs to his death, but JKS defending at the back of the site. Molly down, smoke to extinguish it, and Gratisfaction's here as well, but his teammate's gone down in the process. He cannot stop the bomb plant, but they can get the retake in this 3v3.
Oh, that's so unlucky. Savage will survive by the skin of his teeth, but there's no utility left. Gratisfaction still has an incendiary. Savage is going to go down. Hurricanes, if he dies, well, I think it's round over, and now it's all left onto Bottle. He has been the star of the show, trying to take it home, but it's not going to happen. It will be another round on the board. Now, the bomb plant is going to help a bit for CyberZen, but I don't think they really have enough money to buy here. They sort of, it's one of those sort of dicey situations where they could risk it or just play it safe and go for some pistols, although it's CyberZen, and I feel like they might just risk it.
Let's find out.
That's my inner monologue behind. And it's just like, it's slowly sneaking out as I lose my mind during this game.
Yeah, I haven't seen enough of this team to know, but judging off of what we know from HNCS, yeah, very possible here, very possible. Gratisfaction coming in big again, 2.5 kills that round, maybe 2.8, including the tag, if you want to get specific. But yeah.
Can I have that in a percentage?
No. Nice work either way from Gratisfaction, and good AWPing show as well. JKS even getting that flick shot.
Oh, that's trippy. I don't like that.
Nah, okay.
That makes me want to vomit.
But let's look at this scoreboard. JKS top
I'm more looking at the odds.
Ah, there we go.
They're coming into my way of thinking now. I was going to put all of my guesses there.
Well, and now we can see the money, Tom, right, on the left. So we can't see the buys just yet, but we know that some players have bought, some players haven't.
Oh, no, yeah, they've just
gone for a bit
it.
of a mixed bag.
Yeah, it saved them maybe a little bit of money, but...
Hey, they won this before with that fast burst out of apartments, and considering Renegades are playing close again, this is certainly going to be doable. The problem is, JKM, he's far more aggressive than we've seen him before. However, with 3 on the other side, this could be good for CyberZen. Nice setup. Gratisfaction getting a kill with the AWP, but Bottle, out of nowhere, he pops off the lid, and he's going to get 2 kills.
Yeah, the nade almost finishes him off. It's Hazza. He has to get a couple of kills here, and he does manage the first. Now, Bottle's so unbelievably low. They're going to try and clear him off the side, but he's bought so much time. Hazza may have just won this round for his team. Now, really, we have to look towards Savage to try and turn the tide here. Really even on the score, but he does manage to find the pick, but there he is, dead to rights, and Bottle, well, with 4 HP, has everything left to do. He's going to need 2 headshots, and instead, JKS has been popping off.
Yeah, right, on this AWP, on the secondary AWP here for Renegades, right? He's been doing some serious damage down on that B site, and now A as well. 23 kills here. 13-12. Those odds that favoured CyberZen are starting to look more and more fearful.
I don't know why.
No,
I knew he was going to do that.
Yeah.
I knew he was going to buy an AK.
This is fine. 1 AK, couple of pistols.
no.
2 AK.
Oh, no.
Force buy. It's all going wrong, Tom. It's all falling out of control. The only positive is there's no way Renegades will expect this.
Oh Lord.
Oh god.
This is where it starts getting a little bit crazy, but
This is the perfect round to eco, can I just say? This is the round to eco. You've got literally like 3-round loss bonus. You're 1 ahead of Renegades. This is how you lose a game.
You had extra money, so that like even Bottle could have bought that AK and just gone for like the simple strat, which, to be honest, if you look at the scoreboard, he pretty much is playing the sort of simple strat. 28 kills now in the game. He's been impactful every single time, so maybe it will work. Maybe they're just thinking along the lines that we are. They're just like, this guy's so good, why not just try? The rest of us will just be the supporting cast. Viva's been pretty good as well, though. I've been impressed with him, but let's see. Can they do anything here? Challenging versus JKS so far has been a no-show. It's been an absolute failure, and I'm hoping there'll be some sort of flash before they push anywhere near him. Now, he's the only person on this site, and there is the flash. He's left completely blind. He's going to try and just fall back and hold off for any sort of rotation. Now, if they go through this smoke, there may actually be a chance for them to win the round, but I think the flashbang has actually held them off. Now, the support comes in from Liaz, but they're still going. They're going straight through it. They don't stop for no man, Hugo, but Liaz is going to try and force them to stop. Look at TB in the corner, and the trades are actually coming back at the moment for the T side. They've managed to turn this into a 3v3. No idea how. As of though, there is a huge gap in this smoke.
Oh, he's going to get flashed through as well. Problem is, Savage was behind the new box, and he's going to get the kill with the AWP. Coming in through clutch to pull CyberZen back into the lead. And now with 2 players unequipped and a man down, Renegades have to crawl their way back into this bomb site if they want any chance of winning. Viva playing close. Nice first kill from Gratisfaction, but he's low. Giving away his position. What? He's going to get a second. Misspray from Viva, and Savage won't hit his shot either. He's down to the pistol, but he won't be able to get it done. And Gratisfaction with 3 kills on the retake and 3 points of health. Renegades are going to win that round, and Viva and the rest of CyberZen are going to be kicking themselves.
Yeah, I think Viva has just left an exact outline of him on the wall, because he had 3 HP. Anything hitting him there killed him. And then obviously you just had that's the Savage way of AWPing. It's literally hit or miss. Isn't that hit a single shot. I suppose when he can leg people, like I mean, that's like kill, fine, whatever. But he just whiffed completely. Didn't manage to connect. Obviously, high pressure situation. But after such, like, it was a crazy round to buy. It was a crazy play. They ran through a smoke, a Molotov, and then they get into a 3v2 and then just whiff. Like, they just didn't manage to connect the shots. And, well, that was enough for Renegades to just steal away around. The thing is, though, they got a bomb plant. Now, bomb plant plus the 2900, that's pretty much exactly enough to buy AKs. And knowing them... Oh, have they not? But is this the round they choose not to buy?
Come on. I don't know anymore. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, that's the only justification, right? The previous round buy. That's in my head. Like, if you get a bomb plant, yeah, okay, you got to buy it.
They are, but they're going for sort of half.
So what they're doing here is they're keeping money. They know they've got 5-round loss bonus if they lose this. If Renegades get 14, CyberZen can bounce back with a full buy. But again, they're half investing here. I mean, it's different. It's not necessarily wrong. It's just like it's very risky.
Yeah, do you know what? In this round, like if you exclude what they did in the last, I can actually get behind this perfectly fine.
The thing is, again, like if they full bought this round and got a bomb plant, they would still have a buy next round.
Viva's seen anyone yet. It's been getting absolutely wrecked. Gratisfaction, he's got to be very careful. He's got Liaz, but he's just completely missed as well. He gets 1, but Bottle again and again. He's now hit his 30 kills. They're going to go pushing back around. Now, they could just wrap. Now, the thing is, the way that the setup has been working so far is there's only been 1 player initially. This is all going to come down to just if they can find a frag on towards this site. Jacob's going to go peeking. In fact, he's actually going to take more of a fight towards middle. Now, Viva doesn't have anything here. So it's just whether he can catch players off. But now it's a one-side push on the other side. This is just getting to be very confusing. They will somehow turn it back into a 3v3, but it relied so much on Jacob. The question is now, where do you even go? Like, you basically have both sides because JKS is in middle. It's sort of just a gambling game of just like, did he think it's B, so should we go A? Does he think it's A, so should we go B? They've gone B, he's gone B, so we're going to have a battle on the B side.
Bottle's already holding down the banana as well if you want more alliteration. Now to the back of the site is going to be TB as JKS closes the distance. He has an incendiary. He can kill Bottle right here, the man who's been making this all happen, but he's still going to in the Molotov. 4 kills for Bottle. And CyberZen get 14 rounds off of a half buy, Tom. Off of a half buy.
This guy's sick.
This is I've never. I don't know what to make of this game.
I just want to ask a question.
Yeah.
Are we sure that they vac banned the right player? Because, like, he is just going absolutely nuts at the moment. Like, have we checked who's playing his game? No, I'm kidding, of course.
Ridiculous.
Bottle is nuts. Like, 32 kills now on the board. I think he's got, like, over 130 ADR. Like, he's just running away with this, and it is an impressive show. And the problem is for Renegades, like, the strategy is to just, can we just kill Bottle?
Yeah,
like,
right.
To just take up his top, tip out the liquid. It's a Bottle joke, Hugo.
Yeah,
when
you said take off his top, I was like, oh, let's slow down, shall we? Oof, they've not won yet. 14-13 to CyberZen in the lead. Renegades put down to pistols, Tom. This is the constant buys from CyberZen having such a horrible effect on Renegades' economy. Yes, CyberZen have lost the last 4 rounds apart from that previous, but every round they were getting kills. And that's going to mean Renegades now cannot afford more than 1 AWP and 1 FAMAS. But that AWP needs to make a play. JKS taking that over Gratisfaction here. I don't blame that with 25 kills for JKS. A nice Molotov. Viva's going to have to get out of there. He does smoke his position off instead of diving through like we've seen before. CyberZen playing a little safer, and JKS, he's got to do exactly that, running back down towards the B site.
Yeah, still T side. I was very surprised he didn't just go right around the corner. I'll be honest. I've almost come to expect the unexpected is what I can say with this game. Because, yeah, CyberZen love their spicy plays, but I have to say, although like it is mental, it's some of the most enjoyable Counter-Strike you can ever watch, because if you can't predict what's going to happen, it's just fun. It is just fun.
It's so explosive.
Either way, they're going to fall back in towards this A-site push. Now, the weaponry here is definitely weak, but for sure it can be done with the CZs. Jake playing up close, a little bit of a crossfire alongside Azza. Now, bursting out with AKs is not always the best case. It can be actually very, very difficult to find those kills, especially you can sort of jump with a MAC-10. There goes Jacob. He almost gets himself 2 kills, and he set things up for his teammate. The man on the site is trying to be isolated, and actually they take down Azza. It is looking like the T's are just going to run over this round, and surely this has to be a 15th. I think that the remaining players just have to try and say, but look at the health.
Oh my god.
It's almost like the turnaround. I was talking about CyberZen always hitting the dinks, but never getting the kills, and now Renegades have just done exactly the same. Like 3 players with, what, 25 HP between them?
Good maths.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's such an unfortunate round, because you know Liaz wanted to go for it. He was peeking through the smoke, but it's at the point where it's like, it's winnable, but even with the damage done, Renegades need every penny they can muster. And so this saved armor, this saved AWP, worth its weight in gold going into the 29th round. This is CyberZen's best possible opportunity to close out the game now. They're not going to be hunting, and that's good as well, because even at this point, you don't want to give guns to Renegades. And yeah, the round's over, 15-13. CyberZen 1 away from taking this upset victory, and without a doubt, Tom, this is an upset. Even with the new Renegades roster, CyberZen would not expect it to win this game, especially with Renegades being, as far as I'm aware, flawless in EPL so far. 1 overtime win, everything else clean.
I'm pretty sure, though, like someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but every single time that Renegades have gone to StarSeries, I'm pretty sure they've lost their first 2 games. Like last time, I'm pretty sure they lost their first 3 and just went straight out. But then I'm pretty sure the time before they went either 0-1 or 0-2, and then won the next 3 and went through. They're always really slow to start. Maybe it is because of travel, but that excuse doesn't really fly too well here, considering they're playing against a Chinese team who also had to travel.
Even
so like.
further. About the same, actually, because Renegades West Coast, yeah.
Either way, it's still a long way to travel, but they always seem to be a team to start very, very slow. But the thing is, then it's sort of like, especially in a Swiss format, it just wrecks it, because it's like then Renegades start playing better and just come all the way back through. It's for them here, like this is a tournament they want to be doing well at, because as it's been stated, there are none of like the top 5 teams in the world here. None of the like big dogs, Astralis, aren't here to just destroy everyone. So this is like $300,000, which really could go anywhere. Obviously, Mouse Sports, they're already looking to try and write their name on the check. But here we go. T side looking to try and go for the push towards this B side. Now there's 2 players ready and waiting. The AWP is actually on the other side of the map. It's gone aggressive in towards apartments. And the T side, they're just trying to end it here and now with a bit of a switch up. They've always been in more of defaults. Instead, They want to try and push in here. Now, there are incendiaries. There's stuff to slow them down. Or so it should slow them down. But, of course, it never does. Stand in the Molotov. Why not? Just take yourself to 2 entry kills. There's nothing that stops CyberZen. You can put flames. You can put smoke. They're going straight through it.
And the bomb's already down. This game is looking done and dusted, Tom. It's only Azza and JKS left up for the Renegades. And what a map this has been from CyberZen. We've seen them lose some horrific post-plants on this B-bomb site, but I think this one is a little bit too optimistic for Renegades. As a flash through, good flashbang, but it won't connect. Hurricane's hiding behind the pillar, and now it is just JKS. They know exactly where he is, pinned into the ruins, pinned by the coffins, and they're looking to put him in one. But he started off strong, almost a second shot taking a kill as well, but HZ will finish it off. It's CyberZen here at StarSeries to start off with an upset.
Yeah, no, Bottle, just the king of the server. I think he ended with 34 kills in the end. An absolute star performance, and it was still pretty damn close. Like I feel like towards the end, it really could have gone either way. A load of force binds in a row from CyberZen, which looked like it would sort of ruin them in this one. And actually, I think they ended up losing the T-half, didn't they? Or their T-half, which, well, their CT-half, the T-half for Renegades. But yeah, they just brought it back in the end, and ultimately, yeah, Renegades just didn't really show up to the table a lot of the time.
And this could be a huge start to actually start proving, what we've seen from this team online, now converted to LAN. Let's not forget that domestically, CyberZen have been putting up a bit of a storm as of late. They've been taking wins versus Vici. They've been beating it. They beat MVP to get here. They've been beating eHome. They're domestic teams that have been very, very good. And now Viva are showing, okay, we don't just beat them online, but we're going to LAN and we're winning as well.
Yeah, no, I have to say, obviously I'm not surprised at all, being that I am the only person to actually predict them to win, and knew it was coming the whole time, and
no
definitely didn't just go against the trend. But no, I have to say I was at least individually impressed. Super exciting to watch. I really do just love watching, especially CyberZen. I think you get the similar show from Tyloo as well, just like, because they don't even understand each other. Like, that's the craziest thing. We don't understand what they're doing. They don't understand each other. Obviously, we're going to be seeing them coming up soon. I think it's actually the next game in the show. Actually,
yeah, they'll be up against Ents, so that'll be an interesting game. But yeah, I mean, even looking at this one as well, now I'm wondering, like, how far can CyberZen go in this event? We are in best of 1 Swiss format. That's probably the most exciting part for me, right? Usually, the previous couple of StarSeries, we've had best of 3 Swiss, and we've had all the top teams as well. So it's been very hard to see upsets. We've been seeing a lot of expected results, but now we have no top 5 teams, best of 1, which is the upset potential, setup, and again, like Swiss format, which will be really fun. So yeah, there's definitely a chance for some surprising teams to make it out of groups here, get their way to that top 8 position. Hey, CyberZen, they've impressed us so far, and you never know, there's always a chance.
Well, yeah, the biggest thing for me as well is when it comes to maps. Because like when you look at sort of like CyberZen, like you were saying before, like they're statistically they're insane at Inferno, but you just look at it and go, well they beat eHome, they beat like teams that you will never play if you're like a European team or an NA team. You're just never going to play these teams. It's not going to happen. So you kind of don't really read too much into it. And I think that was always my favorite thing with like Asian teams. It was just like, don't play Mirage. Ever. Like, you may think that, okay, because they're like an Asian team, that means their Mirage isn't actually as good as you think. No, it is. It really is. Either way, we are going to be heading off to an interview, so over to Frankie.
I'm here with Savage from CyberZen and Karo as well, who's going to be translating for us. Now, Savage, you guys came through the Asian qualifiers. You only lost 1 match to Tyloo, and now your winning streak continues here in your first match in Kiev. Can you maintain this winning streak?
就是你们从那个亚洲区预选赛出现，只输给了天路，然后呢，你们现在又赢了，就是你们的这次。 就是能不能觉得自己能够一直连胜下去？
我觉得第一场的话运气比较好吧，然后能不能赢的话看接下来的状态。
We just feel lucky to win Renegades, but for the next 2 matches, we are not so sure for this.
Who are you most worried about facing?
你们最觉得这次比赛里面？ 最怕什么对手？
我觉得最强的是天路。
They think Tyloo is the most team that they fear.
Are there any European teams you're concerned about?
欧洲队伍嘛，就是欧洲队伍最强什么？Mouse, definitely Mouse.
I don't think I need to ask why that is. How important is it for the team to do well here at Starladder in Kiev?
你们现在就是你们在这边觉得过得怎么样？就是觉得这边比赛怎么样，组织的怎么样？
我觉得爱联赛是一个非常专业并且好的赛事，然后我们酒店住的也比较舒服，就是这边的东西太难吃了，吃不了。
They said we really like StarSeries. The hotel is really good, but they just don't used to the food here.
And one final question, because that was a really impressive reverse sweep early on in that T side, because the money from a lot of the analysts here, I think, was on Renegades. Can you upset any of the other more experienced teams here?
你们从这次比赛就是开始就是落后嘛，后来打回来以后，就是你们觉得自己就是状态怎么样？就是为什么是什么样一个就是情绪，就是这样一个就是情况去打回来的？
我觉得是因为对手没有跟我们交过手吧，然后我们也是新组的队伍，然后就是打对面一个措手不及吧。
They think they are kind of new roasters here, and they think the Renegades didn't really know them, so they think it's the advantage of them.
Well, we'll let you guys go have a rest. We'll see you playing tomorrow. Good luck. As for you guys at home, we've got another thrilling matchup coming, so don't forget, you can let us know who you think is going to win using Twitch votes. But for now, let's head back to the desk.
Oh, hello there. My name's Trace, and I want to tell you about a man by the name of Bottle. He's from China. He's 24 years old, plays for CyberZen. More importantly, Lamau has put the Lamau on Renegades here with a baffling scoreline over there. 34 kills, 17 deaths, rocking 129.5 ADR. This man has put the pain on the Renegades. And in fact, to help us describe this showing of force will be Halvor and Sean. Guys, what a showing from CyberZen, ending 16-13 in their favor. What did you see?
Yeah, they played fearless Counter-Strike. They're pushing Banana every round on CT side, even pushing down mid certain rounds. I think Viva actually was one of the hot starters for them. I want to say Bottle was like 3-6, and I thought he would be the player to watch before the match, and I was like, oh, nope. And then he ended with 34 kills. So it's not like he got anything done in the first 6-7 rounds of that match. That was all in like the later bulk of the match where that's when CyberZen was like shining, in my opinion. He carried them through that match.
Yeah, he really did, especially considering, you know, that wasn't necessarily how you see a traditional match go. Renegades win pistol to start off the match, you know, getting off to a nice, you know, relaxing start, do pretty okay during their anti-ecos as well, so they got the economy established. That's nothing you could say for CyberZen. Every time we saw Renegades with pistols, like CyberZen would go down to 2 players alive, outright lose a round. They were struggling so heavily with dealing with, you know, just straight up aggression or, you know, power in numbers from Renegades that I thought, you know, this is just the kind of game where, you know, they put in a valiant effort, but it's not going to, you know, amount to anything because they can't just make the fundamentals work, you know, being able to win rounds where you're within an advantage and so on. But, you know, then the bottle factor comes out and things get kind of weird, really. And it's fun to watch as well because, I mean, we see it time and time again. You mentioned the relentless aggression towards Banana. Even on when they swapped over to the T side, they're not afraid to push through smokes, Molotovs, what have you. Like, they're absolutely crazy.
Yeah, we saw an execute at B where they just ran right through a molly, got 2 entries. We saw one at Halls where I think Renegades counter-smoked Halls. Dude just literally just ran right through the smoke, got an entry. So, I mean, it worked out for them in so many different occasions. They rushed up Rap, I think on a really important round, 11-9, where they broke Renegade's economy and got to 13. I think Savage just rushed Rap with a Mac 10 and got a kill. So there's a lot of really crazy kills that went in their favor. But that's what their style causes.
Right.
Like it causes that kind of chaos and weird stuff that Renegades just wasn't expecting.
Now, if we look at other teams playing this game, we could say words like, oh, this is disrespect Counter-Strike almost. Yeah. But for them, this unorthodox approach to the game is just how they play.
Yeah, I mean, you're kind of curious whether or not they've, you know, looked at what Tai Lu does, how they play, and they just figured like, well, it kind of works for them, so let's replicate that style. Because you do get the sense that they are, in many ways, you know, a Tai Lu-esque team, or you know, at least style-wise, but it works for them. A lot of teams, especially when you get away from the very, very top tier, you know, the Astralis, the Liquids, the Navis, they're not necessarily that great at dealing with chaos. Like, you're going to have, you know, a protocol for every sort of set situation to be able to deal with it properly, or just have superior individuals. And that's not necessarily the case for a lot of the teams here. So seeing how good individually the CyberZen players can be, they probably thrive off of having everything being chaotic.
Ouch.
Yeah, it's not fun.
What is going on here at the Sandbags is a better question, if you ask me.
Yeah,
John, can you give us a little bit of a rundown of
This is
that?
a special strat.
This is a lot of Aussies hanging out over there,
Now,
that is for sure.
Maybe we do this instead. Azur, now that we've kind of been enlightened the fact that he's calling in-game. Sean, being that you were an in-game leader and you were put up to the task of fragging, talk to me a little bit about sort of the weight of responsibility and how you think you can, I guess, balance that out in-game.
Yeah, it's definitely a really difficult thing to get used to. And the in-game leaders that frag really well, I don't even know how they do it, actually, because you have to come into matches with game plans and do a lot of preparation. You don't really get to warm up as much before the game because you have to make sure everyone knows their roles and they have their things accounted for. Maybe Azza just wasn't individually ready to play this game like he would a game where he's not in-game leading.
Yeah, and I mean, we talked about the fact that we did see Kassad behind the team as well. We thought that, maybe this is something, this has been in the works for a while. He literally got brought in yesterday.
Yeah, we were talking to Gomez upstairs, and he said, yeah, we literally called him yesterday and told him to come to this event, which is crazy, like 1 day notice.
Yeah, exactly. So, this is the push we were talking about as well. They're literally just standing in Molotovs happy as ever, not with a care in the world. But yeah, on the side of Renegades, we thought that maybe having Kassad behind Azza would actually alleviate some pressure, help him out in tough situations. But again, there's a limited amount of time as to how much you can prepare and actually come up on the spot that the team's got to be comfortable with if he's only been back with them for a day.
In fact, if you want to elevate your game just a little bit further, I believe it was Viva there that we saw with the tissue over his mouse, where in which not something that you would usually see. Not that is something I could say I've ever seen.
You have tissues around your desk, but
yeah, I mean,
you're not using them to stop sweat.
Yeah, usually they're there to wipe the monitor off. But in their own right, isn't that right, Sean?
Yes, you could definitely use them to wipe your monitor off, Trace.
Thank you. Yes, indeed. Let's take a look at the numbers, though. Bottle coming in with a ripe 2.0 KD. You don't see that very often. 34 and 17. This guy was the star of the show. Of course, JKS on the Renegade side also putting some firepower down range, really making it hurt, but not hurt enough. And then I guess the rest of them falling here for the Renegades. What can we say for the Renegades walking away from this loss?
The issue for me is that I haven't been able to see how this new lineup has done for themselves in EPL outside of the results. Obviously, they've being able to beat Complexity after the run they had in the major, that's impressive with a new lineup and whatnot. So I'm not really sure if this is a case of Renegades underperforming, CyberZen overperforming, or if it's the mixture of the two. The kind of gist I got from Gomez upstairs was that it's not actually Renegades playing too poorly. Like CyberZen are actually bringing it to them, which is, I guess, a positive if you want to look at it from the from Chinese eyes, but. I mean, outside of that, what can Renegades build off of this? It's a weird situation to be in.
It is a rather different situation to be in here. One where in which you could have never forecasted that Bottle was going to get the ultimate last Lamau in on these guys, especially over a JKS, which was he had it figured out on his side, but it was just not enough. Bottle was overpowering the situation here.
Yeah, Bottle was constantly getting multi-frags, opening up bomb sites. A lot of the rounds they lost, actually, he was getting 2 and 3Ks on. So he was putting in work every single round. JKS, I was really surprised at how well he played, actually. He looks really, really comfortable, I guess, on the second op for the team. So I really want to see if he continues that moving forward throughout this event. I actually liked him. He took over main opping before Nifty ever joined the team. I thought he did great doing that whenever we play against Renegades. So definitely seems like he's found his role within the team.
And perhaps, I mean, we could talk a little bit about this new look of Renegades. Is this something they can hang their heads? I mean, this is a new team, essentially.
Yeah, no, I mean, they have to expect, or they have to know going into it that there's going to be a couple of bumps in the road, right? Like, they can't expect immediate success, even if they can feel confident about their roster. Maybe they wouldn't expect losing to CyberZen in the starting match, but I think it was either Tom or Hugo who mentioned it, the fact that they never have good starts at Starladder. That's kind of a bit of a theme for them at this point. It's tradition to lose out and start 0-1 at least. So they'll have time to go back, look over things, come back tomorrow refreshed in that sense. And I think, again, it does play a big factor, the fact that a team like CyberZen, you have very little information to play off of. They've known their first match opponent for quite some time, right? So they can actually prepare better for Renegades than what Renegades necessarily can plan for CyberZen.
Well, here's what we can do. We can prepare you for our next matchup. It's going to be a little bit of ints. That's right. Is it going to be easy for them? That is the story. Versus Tai Lu, a formidable opponent. wherein which Bintet is likely to put the pain down on that event. But who knows? The finisher here, and we're finished with this segment. So we'll be right back after this. Don't go anywhere.
Loot Bet. With Hellcase multi-cases, you are no longer restricted by random case opening mechanisms. Now, you are able to pick any of the cells containing skins and actually determine what you win. Use the promo code and dive right in.